Hello, hello. Welcome to Crazy A Games. A as in Raiden Shogun, Crazy A Games, yeah, no, bad pun, sorry. I actually don't even have A right now. I'm Lumine behind the player model. I was trying to make it look like I had her by sneaking behind her and having her cover up Lumine, but nope, I don't. I kind of hope I can unlock her soon. But anyways, we are in Genshin Impact. And we're going to continue the story. This is Raiden Shogun's story, but it's more A's story since Raiden Shogun is technically a character on her own. She's like the robot puppet that A created to fill her place as A tries to pursue eternity in the Euthymia plane of Euthymia or whatever. But anyways, Reflections of Mortality. Imperatrix Umbrosa Chapter Act I. To traverse the mortal plane. Pick a suitable light novel. The Shogun seems to be indisposed for some reason, but you, quite unexpectedly, managed to invite A to come forth from her plane of Euthymia. You decide to take her on a trip around town for a change of pace. Yeah, so far, I don't know. I kind of somewhat disappointed in the story, how it's going so far. Like, A and Raiden Shogun are supposed to be like such a force to be reckoned with in this story, but the way she is being depicted now is like a childish, naive character who's like curious about the world around her, which doesn't really make sense, or at least, I guess for my personal preference, I would rather her be more of a badass character, since that's what she is like depicted as, and the current story just kind of like changes everything, and in my opinion, it changes in a way that doesn't really make sense. Like, I think I would much rather her, like, let's go into imagination land right now, and we'll go back to the end of the Archon quest where we found out, or where we convinced her to get rid of the Vision Hunt decree, and now she's back at the palace, and we're about to go enter and convince her to come out with us. I think it would have been a lot better if, let's say, the story starts out with her asking us to meet with us instead of us going to Guji Rei Miko? Yay Miko? Instead of going to her and then like somehow getting like a permission slip to go visit her. I think if they set up the premise so that she specifically asked to see us with like the idea that she wants to actually be our friend because we were the one who kind of convinced her to see things in a different way, and she's like, we can play off of the fact that she's a little interested in us as a character as well. But then instead of her like being depressed and trying to think of a way through, she would be like just like immediately saying like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. Like, she would kind of like impose a more commanding presence, a more leadership presence, where she's like, so I'm interested in you, you're pretty cool, and I want to trust you. But at the moment, because of the Fatui and everything, and how they've infiltrated my nation, trust is hard to come by. So let's spend some time together. And then like you kind of go along with that, and she's like, okay, the first thing we're gonna do is take care of the remnant of Signora's army that has infiltrated here in Inazuma. Then we can like go into how like crazy badass she is as like a fighter, where she's like personally now dealing with kind of her mistakes, like she's taken it upon herself, and it kind of shows like she's taking responsibility, and that she is not like underneath like doing things herself kind of thing. That would like kind of add to her badassness, where she can like admit that she's made a mistake and then do what is necessary to make things right. So she is now personally going to take care of the remnant of the Fatui that has like reached so much so much turmoil between like the shogunate and the resistance. So now she's trying to make things right. She's destroying the Fatui, and she's also trying to mend things between the shogunate and the resistance because of the actions she did with the Sakoku decree and the Vision Hunt decree. So that would kind of like push her character into like a more interesting direction. I would feel if that was what happened, I think I would like this story quest more. But right now it's just like, oh, she's really naive, and she doesn't really know what's going on, and she doesn't really want to do anything. So we're gonna have to convince her to go out, and we can show her the way. We're like her guide, and she can put all her trust in us. That kind of just makes her character feel weaker and weaker, and less interesting, in my opinion. I understand like maybe this kind of character is really popular in to like some other demographics. Maybe this character, the way they're writing, like the way MiHoYo is writing it right now, like I am not in the target demographic for it. But I don't know, I feel like the way there's like better ways to make more like engaging ways, more interesting ways to do her character, especially since they've set her up to be such a badass, amazing person, or amazing like shogun, or amazing leader who with so much power. But yeah, I don't know. Right now we're like trying out special milk with her, introducing her to night novels and stuff, and I feel like that's kind of more disappointing than anything. Like there's so much potential in her character that just like is now swept away because of how this story is going through. But yeah, anyway, we're trying to recommend some night novels to her right now, so yeah, maybe she'll become more badass later in the story. I'm still a little bit hopeful, but seeing how as the first thing we did was drink special milk, and now we're reading light novels, I'm kind of like hoping for the best but expecting the worst. But yeah, anyways, let's read these things. Read the daily romance story. Bloop. The chaotic epic that is the tale of my youthful love life. Isn't that like another light novel that is also an anime? Like My Romantic Knife Snafu or something. I don't remember what it was called. But I guess this is like a play on words for that title. This book is about the love stories between a very mediocre man and 7 beautiful... Oh, it's just a regular... what do they call it? Like harem anime trope or story trope, where it's like one dude and like all the female characters love him. It is a chronological account of the protagonist's daily life, featuring many amusing anecdotes. The writing is solid, the prose is elegant, and the author brilliantly brings out the unique charm of each character in the story. But the story stops at a crucial moment when the main character's childhood sweetheart is just about to confess their love to him. I hope the writer gives her a happy ending. I hope the MiHoYo writes a better story for Raiden Shogun. Paimon. Paimon has her eyes closed right now. I don't know if that's like a bug or something. The reincarnation adventure story. So that's like kind of like the isekai story. Shogun Almighty, reborn as Raiden with unlimited power. Reborn as Raiden with unlimited power. Are they suggesting that Raiden Shogun was reborn? She's like an isekai character. And that's why she doesn't really understand what's going on right now. In this book, the protagonist is struck by lightning beneath a thunder sakura and wakes up to discover that he has become the Raiden Shogun. So they switch bodies. Prior to this event, the protagonist is a nobody who gets bullied by everyone. But after becoming the Raiden Shogun, he acquires unlimited power. The appeal of this one probably lies in the euphoria of going from powerlessness to omnipotence, and in the protagonist's inner journey to finally break free from their own low self-esteem. But it's hard to see how the story would develop after the protagonist literally becomes the Raiden Shogun.
こんな題材まであるのか。道理で黒田が怖がってたわけだ。
Is he afraid like the Raiden Shogun will get offended by this story?
この物語は A に聞かせない方がいいと思うぞ。作者が責任を問われるかもしれない。
I think it's quite original. I don't think it's quite original, but it doesn't paint the Shogun in a bad light.
もし誰かがオイラになってオイラがやらないようなことをたくさんやったらなんか変な感じがしちゃうだろ。
Read the Li Yue martial arts story. So this is like a wuxia story. Wuxia stories are more exclusive to China, I feel like. It's not that big here in the West. Like, you don't really see a lot of martial art and martial journey stories or movies or anything here in the West. Life made me a fighter when I just want to be a writer. The book is a martial arts story set in Li Yue, focusing on fighting between different gangs. The protagonist aspires only to become a humble novelist, but gets caught up in the world of gang strife because of an unparalleled martial arts ability. The selling point of this story is that the protagonist never joins any faction, but is constantly assumed to be the reclusive master of one faction or another. The martial arts pros who see the protagonists as their enemies are always making a scene. The protagonist is stuck in the middle of all of this, all the while clinging tight to the dream of becoming a novelist.
変なやつだな。どうして娯楽小説作家にこだわるんだ？
I don't know, Paimon, putting your ideas and opinions and your imaginations into words is actually pretty satisfying. It actually lets you know a lot about yourself too.
そんなにすごいんなら部の道で楽々1位になれるだろう？
It's all about the journey. The protagonist has an admirable will. It's all about the journey.
それもそうだな。願いを最後まで貫ける人なら A の心にも響くはずだよな。やっと読み終わったな。頑張って A に聞かせてやろう。
Recommend and explain it to A. Hello, A. I'm sorry that MiHoYo has made you a lot lamer than you really are.
その顔からしていい物語に出会えたみたいですね。
Is this like me choosing one to explain to her, or am I gonna go through each one? I guess I'll choose the Shogun story for her. You narrate Shogun Almighty reborn as Raiden with unlimited power limit.
それは言わない約束だっただろう。
I don't know why, like, in some of those, like, menus with, like, where we need to read, why didn't MiHoYo just give us a prompt instead to skip into the next one so that we can actually read the whole thing instead of making it timed, where we possibly might not be able to read the whole thing? There were a few in the past that flashes on screen for maybe like a second or two, and it goes away before you like finish reading, and it's kind of annoying.
いいえ、結構面白いので大丈夫ですよ。民の皆さんには将軍がこのように映っていたのですね。しかし無双の人たちは書物の中のように気軽に振るったり憂さ晴らしのために使用することはできません。人たちを振るう理由が武道の形と限界を決めるのですから。
Okay.
現実との差が離れすぎていて別にけなされているとは感じませんでした。むしろこういった想像力はとても貴重なものだと思います。 しかし八重堂の小説は全てあの人が原稿を審査していると聞きました。つまりこの本の内容も巫女に黙認されているということに。いえ、もしかしたら元から彼女の案である可能性も。
エイは八重堂の娯楽小説に対して何か感想はあるか？オイラたちの選んだ物語はどうだった？好みに合うものだったか？
具体的な内容よりも物語から感じ取れたのは時間が稲妻に残した痕跡です。私が一心浄土に長く居座ると決めた頃はまだ八重堂というものはありませんでした。ましてやこのような物語の存在も。将軍は私の意志に従い永遠の国を作ろうと最善を尽くしました。ですが今食べ物も物語もすでにだいぶ違ったものになっています。
It's human nature to seek change. I don't know if it's human nature to seek change. A lot of people don't like change and actively fight against it. So, change is inevitable, maybe? Because since you're always affected by everything around you.
その考えには同意できません。もし私たちがまだ一心浄土にいればきっとそう答えていたでしょう。
Oh, but what will you say now?
しかし事実が目の前にある今、その現状に異を唱えるわけにはいきません。
I think Zheng Li or Rex Lapis or Morax. I don't know what name A would refer him to as, but he would say he said something about the concept of erosion. So, and how like erosion has set in Inazuma, and we were supposed to look out for that or something. And of course, like erosion juxtaposes with eternity pretty well, since something like erosion pretty much means like nothing lasts forever. Like time just would be able to chip away at anything, whether physical or metaphysical, whether it's like beliefs or ideals or like physical mountains and trees and life and all that.
お前に新しい考えを持ってもらおうって考えたからこそ外に誘ったんだ。記憶とは違うものみたいだけど、みんな今の生活を楽しんでる。これはきっと間違いじゃないはずだろ？
That's the thing in this game, though. I noticed like the most guys characters in this story has some pretty cool storylines, but most of the female characters' story is kind of lame. I guess Yoimiyo was pretty good, and Xiang Ling was pretty good, but like currently the A story is kind of like, I don't know, makes her look a lot more incompetent than she was led to believe, or when we were led to believe. And like, I don't know, like Gan Yu, her story was like she thought like she got fired even though she didn't, and we still don't really know where she got the idea to begin with. And then she goes off and do some like random things, and she also like accidentally accuses like a Fatui of doing something bad, and then like threatens him with legal action or something, even though like it was her mistake to begin with, which made her seem kind of incompetent too. And like Sarah in the Archon quest, she's like a general, not a lieutenant, not a captain, not corporal, not colonel. She's a general, and she didn't know that her armies, or at least the reports that her armies is giving to the Raiden Shogun, has been like inaccurate. Like that's kind of incompetent. But then she was also depicted as like this amazing general who's super loyal to Raiden Shogun. That's another thing. She's like friends with, or really close with, Raiden Shogun too. So like, wouldn't she? I don't know. It's just weird. And yeah, I could probably go into every single character and be like, why did they decide to do the story this way?
ええ、その通りですね。私は変化の一切に 慎重な態度でいましたが、永遠を追い求めたいと思ったのは決して人類の進歩を止めようとしたからではありません。あなたたちの誘いを受けて本当に良かったです。こうして外に出られてたくさんの収穫を得られました。
We're just out here to have some fun. Yeah, I think this is kind of like the problem of the story too. Like, we're just here to have some fun. Like, if they wanted to enhance A's character, we should be like going out to fight and stuff and actually trying to correct the wrongs that she's made that has impacted like the people of this nation. So all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm just gonna drop all my responsibilities. Imagine like the leader of your country just like dropping all responsibilities, especially after that leader just like did some like really atrocious stuff to the citizens. Oh, I'm just gonna have some fun with my new friend here. Imagine how like bad that would look to the rest of the citizens. Just like, oh, what? Raiden Shogun? Sure, she finally just abolished the Vision Hunt decree, but she's just like having fun now. Like, she's not doing anything to pay reprimands to the people that she's hurt through her own like misuse of power. And it's just, I don't know, maybe it's because she's so respected and people here are kind of like brainwashed she's able to do this. I don't know. Don't mention it.
それはあなたがこういうことに慣れているからですよ。私にとって今回の旅は相当価値のあるものでした。
Do people actually enjoy this kind of story? I don't know, like, if you got to this part of the video, leave some comments down in my comments section and tell me whether you like this story or not. I'm curious to hear what your opinion on this story is. And if you do like it, please make an argument for it. Like, well, what are your reasons for liking this story? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this.
たくさんのことを拝見し、たくさんのことを考えられました。いくら褒めたたえても、いくら振り返っても足りないほどです。
Why don't you take a photo? It'll last longer.
そうだな。映画楽しめたのなら記念となるものを残した方がいいもんな。
撮影？一体どうしてそう私が聞いたことのない言葉ばかりが現れるのでしょう。
大丈夫だ。オイラたちについてきてくれ。景色のいい場所に行けばオイラたちが何をしたいのかきっとわかるぞ。
It's so weird, like, I don't know, the more I think about it, the more, like, agitated I get about this story. Like, moments ago, she just tried to kill us, and Kazuha saved us. But now we're just like, well, we're best friends now, like, whatever. It really doesn't make sense to me.
その今から何をするのですか？
You're supposed to pose, and I'll shoot this camera at you, and it'll capture your light into this piece of paper.
お前のために写真を残すんだ。具体的な操作はオイラたちに任せろ。お前はそこに立ってポーズを取るだけでいいぞ。
Raiden Shogun's like, Lumine, why do you just let Paimon say everything for you? Don't you have any thoughts of your own?
簡単に言うと、写真は今この瞬間のお前を記録することができるんだ。
Oh.
何かの記念に残すにはぴったりだぞ。
Oh, is she going to be able to obtain her definition of eternity with this photo, where she can just keep it forever?
ポーズを
Keep the moment forever?
どういうことでしょう？
The photo is a visual representation.
なるほど。つまりあなたたちに向かって見栄えのある格好を取ればいいのですね。よく考えるとなんだか恥ずかしいですね。どうすればいいのでしょうか。何か私に案をください。見栄えするものがいいですが、大げさすぎるのは避けていただけると。でないと恥ずかしくて仕方ありません。
Graceful and dignified.
こうでしょうか。
Maybe try another
わかり
one.
ました。ここは
Stern and
少し
whatever.
慣れませんね。こうですか。
No, I don't want her to look
わかりました。
sad.
ここはあなたが決めてください。
Relaxed and
気楽
casual.
ならこうでしょうか。
She still looks sad.
肩
What?
肘を張りすぎない楽な姿勢です。わかりました。
I'll go back to graceful. I think this was probably the best
こ
one.
うでしょうか。
Yeah, that works.
はい。ではお願いします。
いい角度を決めて A を記録しようぜ。
Pick a, we gotta get this first. Anyway, she's like, what are you doing? Oh, you're going to pick that stuff up. Start taking photos. Just like, do this. Woo! Here you go. Here you go, Raiden Shogun. Do you like it? She's like, wait, what? Oh, wait, that. Oh, jeez. It actually just let me do that. Oh, no. Yes, I shall show you the picture. She's like, wait, what?
撮れたぞ。ほら、これがさっきお前のために撮った写真だ。
She's like, Kia! Tabibito-chan, ecchi!
これは不思議ですね。砲術の一種でしょうか。この
Oh
中
no.
に
Is she
もう一人
actually
の私を複製したのですか。
is she actually looking at the picture that I took of her?
しかし動かないみたいですね。話もできないようです。
It's not the real you, it is but a simulacra.
先ほどまで体がこわばっていてあまりよく撮れていないと思っていましたが、今見てみると想像よりもだいぶ自然な感じで撮れているように思えてきました。全く同じ姿勢で、そして背後の風景も一体どういう仕組みなのでしょう。
You see, there's these things called photons that is emitted by the sun and whatever light source, and it reflects off of different surfaces at different wavelengths. The longer the wavelength, the closer it is to red, and the shorter the wavelength, the closer it gets to purple. And the photons, when it makes contact with an object, it disperses and the wavelength changes. And when it hits your eyeballs and into your retina actually can read these wavelengths of these photons, and it creates a image of what is around you visually. And people has figured out how to do the same thing in a machine, except instead of your retina, it captures the light within a piece of paper using chemicals or something, I don't know.
それがこいつのすごいところなんだ。
少々お待ちを。まだ原理を理解することができていません。もう少し説明を。つまりこの中にいるのは私ではない。
It is you, but it's just a picture of you, okay? Just how hard is this to understand? Jeez.
私ではないのならどうして私と全く同じ姿なのでしょう。そしてもし私であるなら今の私とは一体何なのでしょうか。
Ugh. Like, really? Is this really that enjoyable to anyone right now? Like, she's so, like, she is being portrayed to be so, like, stupid and naive to a very obnoxious degree, in my opinion, right now. Like, how is this so hard to understand? Like, okay, we can make a painting of you, right? And it's not actually gonna be you. Just pretend this machine made a really, really accurate painting of you. How hard is that to understand? Oh my goodness, eh?
これはおいらの回答能力を超える質問だ。
Really? Now we're gonna have to...
子供たち
We're gonna have to look down on Paimon too. Like, we can paint... You know what a painting is, right? You know you can draw things, and it becomes like a simulacra or a representation of you. It doesn't have to actually be you. I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking the story a little too much.
そうだぞ。お前は将軍を自分の子 と思ってるのか？
Are they asking the Shogun in the picture, or is she asking Raiden Shogun, the puppet, counts as like A?
もちろんです。今まで稲妻の管理を他の人に任せようと思ったことはありません。
Okay.
今のお前は何なんだ？
それを言う
That's a
な
really
ら
philosophical question.
私は私です。疑いの余地もないことでしょ。
So A has essentially taken control of the Raiden Shogun puppet at the moment? Is that what she's saying? Or is that what they're trying to say right now? So your existence isn't singular.
私の存在なんだか分かってきたような気がします。
Did she become the leader of this nation, the leader of Inazuma, just by pure like power, like by fighting prowess? And she's actually not like trained in any way or has learned in any way to actually be like a national leader. Because yeah, this is very questionable.
私は私であり、一人しかいませんが、無数の形で存在することができるのですね。どのような形で存在するのかはあまり重要なことではないようです。例えば将軍は私の存在する形の一種であり、彼女が私であるかどうかという問題は決して彼女の体にある部品によって決まることではありません。
そういうことならこの写真もお前の存在する形の一種だな。
ええ、永遠を追い求める私でさえも存在の形が変わり続けていたのですね。
Maybe this whole eternity thing is a moot point. It's not something you should focus on anymore. Instead of trying to change your definition of eternity and making that your next goal, just drop the notion entirely and find something else that is you're passionate about to pursue. But I guess if she's passionate about eternity, then you kind of can't like expect her to drop that right away. I don't know.
そうであれば一体どうして稲妻に、そして稲妻で生きる一人一人の方に普遍を要求できるというのでしょう。
Haven't you watched The Matrix? There's a quote in The Matrix which goes something like, "Some things change and some things don't." But then nothing changes. But then that means everything changes. At the same time, somehow. Philosophical. Inazuma will always be Inazuma. Not necessarily. If they get taken over by the Fatui, they just might become like a vassal state of Sneznaya. So that's not true. Humans will always be humans. I guess that's true mostly. Yeah, I'll say
今
that.
回あなたたちとの旅で見たものは全て私の認識外にあるものでした。はあ、お恥ずかしい一面を見られてしまいましたね。あなたたちにはわからないと思いますが、これらは私の認識に大きな衝撃を与えたのですよ。
I think we've seen much more than just your ignorant side.
もし今回見聞きしたもので定義するのなら、今の稲妻は私の印象とは大きくかけ離れたものになっています。ですが決してそのような理由で今の稲妻が稲妻ではないと否定してはなりません。
Right.
メガリレー、千手百目心臓、これらは全て永遠に追い求めるために生まれたもの。もし私自身が永遠に近づいていたらこのようなことは起きなかったでしょう。私は全てをきつく縛り付けすぎていたのでしょうか。
Yes, including your ideals.
どうやら分かったみたいだな。今回のオイラのガイド、すごく価値のあるものになったみたいだ。
Yay, good job, Paimon.
川地様、川地様。
Ippei.
なんか下が騒がしいな。一平みたいだ。どうしたんだろう。
Who's Ippei again?
天領奉行の人ですか？
そうみたいだ。 何があったか聞きに行ってみよう。
It's been a few days since I recorded the last video, so I'm not quite sure. I don't remember a lot of the minor characters and who they are. But yeah, I think this is a good place to end it. I know I ranted a lot about how much I don't like the story right now. I feel like recently I've kind of fell into a more negative mindset for this game, and I don't know. Hopefully I can justify my negative mindset. I don't know, or maybe like something would happen and it would change things around. But that's just how it is for now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you disagree or agree, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll be really interested to hear, since like this story is kind of like, I don't know, more annoying to me than a lot of the other ones. Maybe it's because I actually like the character a lot more than all the other ones, and it's really disappointing to see this is how they decided to run with her story. I don't know, because I do really like her character Kit, and I'm pretty close to the pity, and I really hope I would be able to pull her. So yeah, I don't know. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.